masses, the changing dynamic is the message of the masses is being served to the classes? And is that what the BJP and has been able to do so well under Modi Shah? And is this the reason why they're getting numbers like this? Have a look at this. 243. 243. Opposition बैठ के क्या करेगा विधानसभा में? If these are the numbers, because it's the BJP and the Sena who are going to play government and government opposition. Jis din mood hoga, us din we'll sit and we'll take positions, and that's what we will do. That's what they have done, the BJP and Shiv Sena. Never before numbers for both the parties, and never before numbers for everybody else too in Maharashtra. Look at the Congress party in this case. Congress plus 41. They had 90 seats. They're halved, less than half compared to the last time around, and the NCP is doing better. I'll get to the breakup quickly. And here it is. Others reduced from 12 to 4. But this is the story, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at the alliance breakup quickly and how the Congress NCP alliance has done vis-a-vis the BJP-Sena combined. And if we look at this, this is not a story that's worth telling. This is a story that's worth pondering and thinking, ye kab jagenge? Kab inka yahan savera hoga? Because the NCP has done better and they've fought harder under Sharad Pawar compared to the Congress party, which had former chief ministers in the fray. Look at the BJP and look at the Shiv Sena. 102 for the Shiv Sena. Balasaheb Thackeray will be dancing up there, and Aditya Thackeray will be wondering, how am I going to take this mandate further, because this is never before. Even I perhaps did not accept this. And the BJP 141, 4 short of majority on their own. Absolute position of strength, and this was all turned around in just about a decade. 2009 kahan the ye, 2019 kahan pahunch gaye? That's the big story. They have been able to get the pulse of the masses and say, this is the politics we want to play. This is where we want to get. This is the mind space we want to occupy. The rest will happen on its own. Bhupen.
Okay, one of the beauties of Anand is that he also speaks Marathi. Now, if you were a Shiv Sena supporter today, you know, how would the sentiment be captured today in Marathi, Anand?
It's very simple. And you can say you don't need to know Marathi for it. All it is Jai Shivaji.
Jai Shivaji. All right. So that's all there is to it. So let's just stay with the story of Maharashtra for a moment. And there are those numbers. Look at that. The BJP 141. Ipsos is projecting 141. Do bear in mind that these are exit poll numbers. These are the figures which are being projected by Ipsos. And the final figures, of course, will come up only on the 24th. The Shiv Sena, 102 seats. Aditya Thackeray, its new Yuva president, its new Yuva face, the first member of the Thackeray clan to be contesting elections. And where are the grand old parties? Parties which are described by Sushil Kumar Shinde as tired, and parties which need to think of a new narrative, the Congress and the NCP, right down at the bottom of the barrel. But just to stay with those numbers, and let me bring in Parijat on that one. In course of your exit poll, Parijat, how big a factor is Aditya Thackeray himself in this election?
I believe Aditya Thackeray factor played a very big role in the overall consolidation of a little fragmented voter bank for Shiv Sena. And every party has some core franchisee and some which are little, more of a satellite. So it is that band where Aditya Thackeray actually brought in a lot of energy, a new look of the party, because it's quite evident, and probably it's going to continue, that Sena and BJP are never going to be it's like probably other coalitions.
Right.
It will always be a
it's the ideology
which
keeps them together. I mean, it's not like the Congress and JDS that suddenly, they'll accuse each other and then they'll come apart.
And they will come
I mean, that's not the case. But let me go to Zaka on the magic wall. Let's look at the story of Aditya Thackeray, because I think this, if these numbers hold on the 24th, and if the Shiv Sena will get 100 plus seats, certainly there will be a demand that will be made that why should Aditya Thackeray not be given Deputy Chief Minister's chair? How is his Jan Ashirwad Yatra, how was that playing out across the state?
So he covered, I think, about 111 constituencies. That's right. He covered 111 constituencies. Surprisingly, he didn't cover any of the Mumbai city seats. He covered a lot of the outskirts in Panvel, Kalyan, Navi Mumbai, etc. Lots of Konkan seats, because that used to be a Sena stronghold at one point of time, and quite a few seats in Marathwada. He left out Western Maharashtra, you would presume, because that's Pawar's stronghold, so he's left that out, and large parts of Vidarbha also he did not campaign through this Jan Ashirwad Yatra. What is interesting is, and what I would like to know from Parijat is, out of these 111 seats, the Sena had won just 32 last time around. Now you're projecting 102 seats for the Shiv Sena. I'll be very curious to know how many of those seats came from these seats that Aditya Thackeray did his Jan Ashirwad Yatra in. He covered 111. How many of this 102 was in those 111 seats? Because if it is, then clearly, as Bhupen says, the Shiv Sainiks will definitely make a demand that Aditya Thackeray be given a perhaps a deputy chief minister.
Well, I'm not sure whether do you have an answer. You don't have the data
It's
right
coming
now.
in,
Yeah.
but on the face of it, it looks like you are absolutely right, Jaka, and a lot of those seats are actually converting that.
I think I think Parijat, at least that's what I felt when I was in Mumbai, that the fact that Aditya Thackeray had decided to take this electoral plunge, the fact that he was not just planning to control like his father or grandfather through a remote control, and that was the philosophy of the Shiv Sena. He was willing to bite the bullet himself. That certainly energized the Shiv Sena cadres, which were also beginning to feel whether, well, with Modi around, what exactly is the Shiv Sena going to do? But Advaita, Aditya Thackeray, what does this mean? If these numbers hold, does it imply that the Shiv Sena has to conclude that without BJP there is no life? Because maybe these numbers would not have been achieved if the BJP and the Sena would not have teamed up together. Or, much like what Devendra Fadnavis was hoping, that let's contest elections without the Sena and let us increase our tally more so that we're not dependent on the Shiv Sena. Which of these two conclusions would you go by?
No, I think this is, if you look at Amit Shah's interview to your channel, he very clearly said when asked about these sort of skirmishes that come out in public and was it a bad marriage? I remember your group editor asked that. And he said this is an indication of a robust alliance. He used the word tandrust to describe the alliance. So I think, at the highest levels, it is assumed that there will be this kind of back and forth, there will be this kind of arguments. But unlike in 2014, when they decided to go their separate ways, this time round they came together despite the acrimony that we saw at different points during this term.
But what could happen,
So
Rahul, what could happen?
No,
In 2014, we all remember what happened?
Yeah.
The Shiv Sena was unwilling to go in for the swearing in when post the assembly election. They said that we'll just give support from outside. And it was a call from the late Arun Jaitley to Uddhav Thackeray, which finally ensured that the Shiv Sena decided to be a part of the ceremony. Now, with these numbers, if these numbers hold on the 24th, does Aditya Thackeray have a valid case to be the Deputy Chief Minister?
He can very well make that case. See, ideological congruency is very, very important, but everyone in politics is for the power game. BJP knows that Sena can be a sort of a critical factor because Sena can mobilize troops on the ground. So you want to keep them happy. Second, Sena controls Bombay Municipal Corporation. And you don't want a political party with cadres on the ground controlling a corporation whose budget sometimes, like in previous decades, used to run close to the state budgets. So there are sort of like important factors to be considered. But I do think that Aditya Thackeray, of course, like if they get 100 seats, they will demand that we should be given deputy chief.
Well, maybe we should get to Sanjay Nirupam. Maybe, sure.
Very quickly, Uddhav Thackeray has clearly said that his son is looking at legislative experiences. And if you track Aditya Thackeray's career, he's a millennial politician.
Right.
He's been there in youth politics and then he's moved forward. I don't think he's a young man who's in a hurry. So I wouldn't jump to that conclusion and say that, he's going to be gunning for the deputy chief
So it's
minister.
not like
He's a
Tejasvi
millennial
Yadav in Bihar.
politician.
It's not like
No,
Tejasvi Yadav in
yes.
Bihar, where because it was when Nitish and RJD were together in alliance, he had to be given deputy chief minister.
Correct.
And because one had to be given deputy chief minister, so two sons had to be given.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No,
I mean,
Bhupen,
his
but
father's 59.
If these figures
this is
come
a
through at
millennial
24,
politician.
there will be a lot of
It could be
euphoria will be
someone
there.
else.
So then what would that
Shiv
euphoria
Sena,
lead
There would-
It can, you see, it can lead to any situation.
Zaka,
You
just
know,
add the
in
numbers
past-
first. Zaka, let's take Rashid Gibran's theory.
Shiv Sena has been a very difficult customer.
So your Rashid a short while back said that it is possible if Shiv Sena's word was not to be accepted by the BJP, then there could be a scenario that the Congress, the NCP and the other parties could come together and support the Shiv Sena's claims.
So you add the
Does
numbers.
that add up? Does that
I
add
don't
up,
think
Zaka?
it adds up because this is 102. As per this is an exit
Yeah,
poll.
yeah,
This
on
is
exit
not a
poll,
result.
exit
This is
poll,
all
exit
poll
poll,
numbers.
of course,
102 to Shiv Sena, 39 to Congress and NCP. That's still short of
That's
the
still short.
144 mark.
So unless there is
That is- yeah.
some large scale defection from the other side, and look at where Sharad